It's right here.
Good, how are you?
Hey.
So I'm very.
All right, can we just stand for the pledge, please? I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And if everyone can just check their phones and make sure they're off or on silent, please. I would like a motion to approve the minutes from September 4th, 2018.
I make the motion to approve the minutes.
Second?
Second motion?
All in favor?
Aye.
Correspondence, Kathleen?
I have the correspondence from Thomas Farrell with regard to the Leisure subdivision and road dedications. Fire protection contract between the Village of Otisville and the Town of Mount Hope. Intermunicipal agreement for the control of snow and ice on certain roads with the Town of Walk Hill. I have 2 Highway Department budget modifications, another budget modification from the Supervisor's Office, a resolution to sell Easy Pass tags, Building Department August report, and the Police Department August report, and a letter that came in from the Otisville Country Fair Committee thanking the board for their support for the fair. That's all that I have.
Thanks, Kathleen. Board member reports. What do you got, Jim?
Let's see, village, I'll do the village first. 21 fire calls for August. The overhead doors at the firehouse was completed, and the village give us permission to use the park for the Veterans Day parade. And just a FYI to Diane, I will not be able to attend this Thursday because the planning board has their meeting on the same day this week. And that's another thing, planning board will be meeting Thursday at 6 p.m. And that's all I have.
Jim,
6 or 7?
6.
Don?
I'm gonna make it brief.
All right. Ryan?
I'm gonna make mine almost as brief. The only thing I have nothing to report, but I did look into the smart meters we talked about last meeting to see if I could get my hands on a schedule. The only information that I was given was they should be sending cards out to people 45 days in advance, which I haven't got a card, I don't believe. And, but I have seen the vans over like in the Slate Hill area. There's a lot of them over there, but I haven't seen them up here yet.
Yeah, .com they did, and they just sent me another one, but I think they're a little confused because they're all Walk Hill streets.
Okay.
So it seems like they're right by Hell's Fire Company, and I think they're gonna work their way out, but they are sending me emails, but they're not our roads.
Got it. That's all I have.
Matt?
The only new item, there just to refresh, the Veterans Day parade will be the 10th of November. Same as the last meeting, just on a comprehensive plan. We're still amongst the committee finalizing or reviewing the final prepared draft from the planning company, and that there's been no progress in terms of bringing any of that to the public yet. We're still going over a few items, and when it's ready, we'll let you know.
What time does the Veterans Parade start?
11 a.m.
I'm gonna make an event. Thank you.
Okay. Highway. Dean is away at Highway School, which we approved a couple meetings ago. But if you saw the paving of the tennis courts and the basketball, it looks absolutely awesome. Really excited about that, to know that hopefully we'll have another 10, 15-year lifespan. And I think it's gonna look really nice when it's done, when it's 100% done.
When are we getting it striped?
That guy was really backlogged. Dean was hoping that it was sooner, but it might not be until the last week of the month.
I went up and took pictures, but it doesn't do it justice, because
Until
there's no
the-
striping on it, so.
Yeah. We did get the, which is later in the agenda, the agreement with Walk Hill. I talked to Dean today. He's good with that, so. I know we had a couple questions on the county one, so we waited a meeting, so I verified with him he's okay with this. also met with the engineer last week to go over the future community center. They went by and did all of the specs for all of the new outlets. So it's pretty neat. I met with the electrician today up there, and because of the exercise equipment, some of them have dedicated lines, because it's gonna either be a treadmill or an elliptical or whatever. But that's all marked out. So hopefully the purchase is going to go through for all of the electrical supplies. And they did also give me a cheat sheet onto the way it's gonna work now. So once the electric is done, if we're going to do any other wiring, like cameras and also the security system that we had already approved, all of that will go in. Then the spray installation, so that all the wires are behind all of that stuff. And then we'll actually be looking at sheetrock, so it's exciting. I know, Dom, you guys were gonna get together and go over some of the stuff. I think Dean and Darren picked out some stuff, but they were still waiting on a few things to go over with you. So sooner the better. And you'll also see the budget mod from the supervisor's office is our reimbursement up to date. It puts us back up to date with everything we've done with the community center. So the process is we do the work, and then kind of like you guys signed the vouchers here, we have to send a voucher to New York State with the front and back of the check showing that it was paid for and that we've already paid for it, and then they reimburse us. So it is a little bit of a circle for it to happen, but we're getting all of our money back, so it's working. We also need, at the end of the meeting, to do an executive session for personnel issue with highway. And I'll fill everybody in with that. Mr. Mike, you're up. What do you got?
I have nothing for you guys unless you have any questions.
I have one.
Sure.
How's the school resource officer going?
But I understand it's going very well. I mean, it's still really new, so I'm working out some routine, but other than that, it's good.
I was at a meeting right before this for Boy Scouts, and Brian Monahan had to put me on the spot, so he was talking about it.
I think she was perfect for it. So.
And the sheriff's department started today over at the other 3 schools.
Oh, yeah.
I learned that today. So, the district's good to go.
And actually, Mike, Dominic and I met with, last week, we were at a meeting with, is it Leahy?
Yes.
Yeah.
Barely, yeah.
And he's, had nothing but great things to say about it, so hopefully I'll help again. Village of Otisville, Diane, you're up.
I have nothing to add. Jim did a good job of covering anything that you needed to know, so
How was your trip?
it was great. We were very, very fortunate. The 2 days, the whole trip there, but you were in the bus, so who cared? And by the time we got there, it stopped and it didn't start raining again until we were on our way home, so everybody, I think, had a good time.
No one go over the Falls of the Barrel while you're up
I
there?
wanted to, but they wouldn't let me.
Nobody does that anymore, I don't know.
It's a $10,000 fine now, so that could have something to do with it.
You probably have to pay first, that's probably what it is, right?
Thanks, Diane. Leisure Road dedication, Dean did find out more information on that with the draining and everything, but I see no reason to approve it until he's back. That way he
Yeah,
can at
we
least
can-
explain it, because
Yeah, we can, realistically, the dedication and all isn't gonna officially be accepted till the road's built out. But we can signal to the attorney for the applicant that the forms are acceptable. Dean indicated as much to me, so we're happy with that, and they can keep moving forward with anything else that they have to do. But we wouldn't actually physically take the road until
It's
such
built.
time as it's built.
Okay.
Yeah.
because, yeah, Dean was trying to explain it, and to be honest with you, I didn't understand the whole thing. Thank you to the board. We had a budget meeting the other night. We didn't leave here till 10 o'clock, so it was productive. And actually, while we're on that subject, I would like to know availability. We had already set up a date for the 24th, Monday the 24th. Excuse me. I'm having surgery tomorrow, and after talking to the surgeon today, I do not think I'll be ready for the 24th. So I wrote down a few dates the 28th, which is a Friday, October 2nd or October 3rd, if that works for everyone or anyone, or it doesn't.
October 2nd is a Tuesday and the 3rd is a Wednesday, if I can read that right?
Yes.
Okay. What do you guys think?
I knew Thursdays weren't good for you, so I tried to pick a few dates, and I didn't want to ruin anybody's Friday, so I didn't know if the Friday worked for anyone, or,
On the 28th is a Friday.
yes.
Doesn't matter to me, I'm good with that. If you want to keep the others on backup, I have no plans, so that's up to you guys.
Yeah, well, we have to put an ad in, so that's why I figured.
Where are you at? No pressure. Can you do it?
Any of the days, 28th, 2nd or 3rd.
It works for everybody,
Yeah.
so
Anything.
I think I'll be fine for the 28th, if you, are you okay, Jim?
20, Friday, no.
Okay,
Thursday, I'm sorry, Tuesday, better on Tuesday.
Tuesday the 2nd, does that work for everybody?
What time are you talking, 6?
6, if that's good with everyone?
The 2nd at 6.
So I'd like a motion to approve an additional budget meeting on October 2nd, 6 PM here at Town Hall,
I'll make the motion, we schedule a meeting.
and authorize the hearing to go in the paper. Awesome, great. Second,
I'll second said motion.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So you're canceling and I'm gonna notify the website.
That would be great, Kathleen. Thank you. The fire protection contract, everyone has a copy of that?
Yes.
Does anyone want to talk about anything, or did everyone have time to review it?
I'm all set, I was there.
Yeah, just so everybody knows, the contract is exactly the same as the last couple of years. The only changes are the dates and the dollar amounts.
The dollar amount did decrease. Do you know what the total amount is, Jeff?
Sure. So basically what we did is we raised the fire budget by a total of $15,000. And 80% of that will be paid for by the town, 20% will be paid by the village, and that's going to go into a new truck account. So I just feel that every fire department has aging infrastructure. And they've been able to do it the last 2 years at the same exact price, which is awesome. But I think after talking to the mayor, it could be 5 years from now before a piece of equipment has to be bought. And I think the village's position would be that if and when that happens, they'll bond it out, but it would be great to have 20% of the truck or 30% of the truck. So we came up with the number, and you'll see ours is like 11,000 of that, and the other 3,000 and change would be from the village because of the way the 80-20 split is. And that money is going to go in a new created capital account just for that. And it's obviously not a ton of money when you look at what a fire truck is, but I thought it's baby steps, so.
Better than nothing.
We're still about $65,000 cheaper than it was 3 years ago. So I don't have a problem with it at all, and I think it's a good.
They're able to put some of the reserves already into a truck account, but it's minimal as compared to what's left over at the end of the budget. So this is gonna get them somewhere near getting a percentage down, so they don't have to bond so much. Because eventually, when they do buy a truck and bond it, it's gonna be part of our deal. You can't really-
Do we know how much is, right now we have?
Well, the year's not up yet, their village year isn't up. Right now, it's looking good.
So once their budget year is done, they'll take a percentage of what's left over in the reserve and that goes into their truck.
Do we know how much is in the truck account now?
What did they say? I don't recall.
The next village board meeting you go to?
I'm missing out.
I'll find out Thursday night.
Thank you.
All right, so with that being said, I'd like a motion to approve the 2019 fire protection contract with the village of Doylestown.
I'll make the motion, we authorize the supervisor to sign the contract.
Second,
I'll second the motion.
all in favor?
Aye.
I would like a motion to approve the intermunicipal agreement for snow and ice removal with the town of Wallkill.
I'll make the motion, we approve the intermunicipal agreement with the town of Walko.
I'll second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Two budget modifications. Kevin, would you just read them, please?
We have increased unclassified revenue account D 2770 in the amount of $499.99. An increased machinery equipment contractual budget account DB 5130.4 in the amount of $499.99. This reflects payment from Travelers Insurance for reimbursement for a box truck storage box damage. And the second one is increased scrap metal account DB 2650 in the amount of $219.46. And increased machinery equipment contractual budget account DB 5130.4 in the amount of $219.46. This reflects payment from Sims Metal Management for scrap metal collected.
I would like a motion to approve both highway budget modifications as read.
I'll make the motion, we approve the budget modifications.
Second? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Yours. Increased revenue line A 4098, other general governmental aid grants by $25,888.50. DASNY reimbursement. And increase expense line A 1620.4 by $25,888.50 for DASNY reimbursement.
Thanks, Kathleen. I would like a motion to approve the supervisor's budget modification as read.
I'll make the motion to approve the budget modification.
Second?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Easy pass resolution.
Resolution authorizing the town of Mount Hope to enter into an agreement with New York State Thruway Authority to sell Easy Pass tags. Whereas the town of Mount Hope clerk's office or any other approved municipal location wishes to retail Easy Pass tags through the New York State Thruway Authority's Easy Pass on the Go program. Whereas the town of Mount Hope clerk's office or any other approved municipal location will purchase Easy Pass tags for the cost of $21 per tag from the Thruway Authority and sell the tags at a cost of $25 per tag, allowing the town of Mount Hope to keep $4 per sale. And therefore be it resolved that the town board of the town of Mount Hope hereby authorizes the Mount Hope Town Clerk's Office or any other approved municipal location to enter into an agreement with the New York State Thruway Authority to sell Easy Pass tags provided all legal requirements are complied with.
Thank you, Kathleen. I would like a motion to approve the Easy Pass resolution for the town clerk's office.
I'll make the motion to approve the Easy Pass resolution.
Second?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Just a quick question about that.
Sure.
So those tags, once we order 25 of them, we get them. They're good for, have to be good for the batteries in them. Clearly they're good for a long while, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so until we sell them, we basically keep what we got. When we sell those 25, then we get more?
Yes, you order more lots of 25.
Okay. Anyone in the audience need Easy Pass?
Well, I
buy
can
them
get them
$10.
for, I don't.
I know even when we picked up the furnace for here, that we don't even have a floating Easy Pass over in Highway. So we had to literally pay all of what we picked up the furnace. So, I'm sure the first 25 will be easy, and then after that, we don't have. I'd like, hey, it's another service.
Absolutely.
I would like a motion to pay the bills.
I'll make the motion, we pay our bills.
Second?
Second motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Public participation. Come on, Kathy. Nothing?
Pound the gavel.
When are we gonna get the Easy Pass?
I have to send in the application now that that was approved.
Approximately how long?
2 weeks.
A month,
Yeah,
two?
I don't think it's very long. I just have to send in the application. They have to go through a formal approving it step, and then we get them.
Good luck on your surgery.
Thank you. Anybody else?
I have a question.
Another one?
Yeah,
Start the timer.
She
go
has
right
to come up
ahead.
to the podium in order to start the time.
You had a budget meeting the other day and I was out of town, so I couldn't come. What, is there anything, can you give us any information on that?
Basically, it was just a workshop, so, basically the first meeting, all of the department heads put down what they think they're going to need for the year. And then the town board discusses whether or not it's even feasible. Now the town board was just given all of that in writing, now that we've discussed it. And now the next step is at the next meeting, we'll go through and start slicing some stuff. So basically, it's just a workshop to go and kind of see, you add all of the numbers in, and then you look at where
See if you
everything.
got enough to pay?
Well, yeah, or, you know, what kind of increase do you want, what kind of, so, that's what I'm saying. So, legally, we have to put in, hypothetically, if the police chief or Dean put in $1 million, whatever they write on that sheet, you have to put in on the first one, but then on the second one is where, that's, the second one's the more fun one, because that's the one you wanna come to.
All right, I'll do that.
Bring a
Can
red
we
pen.
clarify this new fire truck account that you're creating?
Sure.
We're not
We're not
creating it.
creating, the village is creating.
But we are going to be putting money into it.
Well,
Correct.
it's part of their budget.
Correct, but don't we contract fire protection?
Correct.
So what if the village of Otisville, at the time that a new fire truck is needed, is not our contracted fire service? I mean, what if Howells or Pocatello or someone else has a lower bid and we have a fire protection contract with them, and now we've put a whole bunch of money for the village to buy a new fire truck?
Okay, well, there's a couple things with that. One
Okay.
is it's being earmarked exactly for that, so it's gonna show where the funds came from. So in the event that our relationship was terminated, it would clearly mark where the proceeds came from, the town and also the village. So, you know, we're not putting the cart before the horse, but, you know, we're kind of being proactive, but at the same time, there's,
I feel like you're kind of putting the cart before the horse. So in the event that the fire protection contract is terminated, and we put a whole bunch of money into that account, what would happen to that money?
we would go out, if there's no
Okay.
truck purchase, we would go
Mhm.
out to try to get the money back.
And
Which
try.
I don't think we would really have an issue doing,
Unlike that.
because it's not
I mean,
only.
I understand that you feel that you're being proactive, and I think to a certain degree you are, but that's a huge assumption. Because you did say yourself that it could be 5 years before a truck is needed, and we know how things happen around here, and anything could happen. In 5 years, the fire protection service could be coming from somewhere else, certainly.
You're
So that
absolutely-
was just kind of my
You're absolutely right. And
question.
if it was just, a good example is, I don't know how many people read up on, Greenville when they had all of their issues. So what happened in Greenville was they escalated each budget line. So instead of saying stationary was gonna be 500, they said it was 800. Instead of this being this, they escalated all of the prices and then purchased a truck that way.
Not to mention they created positions they never planned to
Yes,
fill.
so we're doing everything,
Yeah, they're doing a
But we
little
don't
bit, they're
have a
doing much
medical-
more of a slow burn. Like the issue in
Okay.
Greenville was that they were over budgeting by $250,000.
The town
a
of
year.
Greenville was doing that.
No, it was their fire district, because they do their fire protection differently.
Okay.
So the fire district was over budgeting by about $250,000 per year to save up for that. So there is, like the supervisor said, there is an inherent risk if that relationship were to fall apart.
Mhm.
But I think that the sums here are much more incremental than you had in that type of situation. And it is kind of anticipating that that relationship's gonna continue.
Either way, Allison, whether we pay for it now, we pay for it later, you gotta pay for it. You pay for it,
Well, no, we might not have to pay for a fire truck if we don't have a contract with Otisville, and Otisville needs a new fire truck.
if we're contracting with them.
Of
we'll end up paying
course.
with it. But
Right.
hopefully with being able to save some money and having less of a bond amount, you can save on the interest aspect of it, so.
There's always a risk, it's just like when Mount Hope Fire District dissolved, you lost everything you invested into that.
Which is why I'm asking, because there are
Understood.
certain assumptions that are being made, so.
So this money is being earmarked specifically for a fire truck for Otis Fire District,
Yeah.
for fire company, yes.
fire whoever.
The
Yes.
the village of Otis.
The people who drive the truck.
The village of Otis.
Okay. Now here's my question. What if? Can you put it in a separate account which is not attached to a specific, whatever numbers or letters or group that you want to put for the fire truck? Can you put it in something where, if in fact this doesn't happen, that they're not going to be the fire district, that you will still have this money here, but if they are still the fire district and they need to buy a fire truck, and Dominic's going, no way, then you can take that money and you can transfer it to them.
No, it's a
It's
special,
not part of your budget.
well, it's a special district, because the people that live in the boundaries of that district pay that dollar value per, your tax rate. It's for fire protection only. We can't turn around and buy Dean a plow truck with it if we decide not to contract with whomever in X years. Is that what you're saying? Instead of using it for a fire truck, use it for a different,
No, what I'm
Yeah, but
saying
just
is,
keep it
you know.
Buy a fire
With an
truck,
agreement
no
that-
matter who needs it, it's like a fire, right, it's like a fire
Yeah.
truck account. So whether
Specific-
Otisville
Well, I'd be
needs it or,
interested,
right.
yeah, I'd be interested in seeing, I can contact their attorney tomorrow, there may be an agreement we can put together.
Because that's just
Fire-
a lot of money
yeah.
to lose.
Fire protection accounts-
We change, they change, somebody changes, and then we don't.
The fire protection accounts are much different typically than the town ones, because you're either gonna need a referendum when you create it, or a referendum when you spend the money out of it, so it depends on the type of account. But I can certainly talk to Howard and see, what the options are, but I think that it's kind of a calculated gamble, given the way the relationship is.
Do we want to gamble with that kind of money?
With $15,000?
11, the village is paying the other.
Mike?
I'm listening to this and I think you're kind of missing the point here.
Okay.
Is it easier to look at it that the fire protection district cost went up $15,000 and they're being smart enough to put $11,000 away for a truck down the road?
And still be costing.
But we're assuming
No,
that
no,
we are
no,
going
no.
to have a
Here's
contract
my
with them.
position on that. We paid the contract to them for fire service. So if the cost, they're saying our cost of fire service for you guys went up $15,000. Of that $15,000, we're taking $11,000 and putting it in the bank, so that when we get a new truck, if you guys are the servicing agent, if our costs remain low.
I understand what you're saying, we're still assuming, I guess, I'm not gonna
Here's
have a
my
cross
thing.
conversation in
You got
public,
it, yeah.
so.
Diane, did you have anything?
Well, I just wanted to point out, because what Allison was saying, it made it sound like it was a huge amount of money. It's not like hundreds of thousands of dollars that's being put away. It's 11,000 that the
It's not
town is
$100.
contributing. But the bottom line is that you're absolutely correct. The town contracts for fire protection service. We provide that service. The village determines how much money is necessary to do that. The village and the town have a wonderful relationship in that we actually break down the whole budget and it's agreed upon beforehand. Many places that is not the case.
Right.
If Howells, you don't get a chance to say what's in the lines on that, so really, it's because of the transparency that everybody's providing that it's making people nervous. But the reality is.
I'm not nervous, I'm just asking a question.
Right, but if the reality is, if this contracting were done the way it's done with a fire district, it wouldn't even be an issue because the line items are not contractual. So,
Mary Beth, Lance, anybody? Anybody else?
I'm staying out of it.
Okay. Well, I will say with that, like, it was 100% my idea.
That explains everything.
I brought it to the mayor. Well, you know what? That's how I've been able to go as long as we have without raising taxes. All I do is think about the future. I think about putting money away for each thing so that it's not a burden when something bad happens. We have the money for it. So I think it's, we could have done it obviously a different way and said, hey, it's still $50,000 cheaper than it was 8 years ago, but transparency is exactly what we're doing on the way for trucks. So I will have David reach out and see if if there's a separate contract we can write up to show that there's monies from both municipalities going for a particular reason, and in the event that we sever our ways, that we get our 80% back, they keep their 20. I think that will fix the issue. But to be totally honest with you, I would like to see I would have liked to see the number a lot more than $15,000, because it's nothing for an $800,000 truck. But all right, board comments. What do you got, Matt?
Just a question for the board. The Howells Fire District, we've already discussed buying 1 acre to add to the cemetery on New Vernon Road. They want to know if we're interested in more property. I think 1 acre is a good start, if we call that phase 2, because the current plot is at or near capacity. 1 acre will give us growing room. If we added an additional acre, for a total of 2, we could call that phase 3. Maybe we don't need to touch it for 5 or 10 years, but it's something people will use. At some point. Who knows in 10 or 20 or 30 years if that property would be available to expand the cemetery further than it is. I think we're kind of lucky in the fact that they want to work with us to expand it because there's more property than they need or can use at this time. So I don't know if anyone has any. We don't have to make a decision on it tonight, but it's a little food for thought.
Sure.
Their firehouse will be going to the right side of their property.
If you're looking at the cemetery from the road, correct, they're planning on having it, the property's kind of like tiered terrace on the lower elevation.
So we know we'll always have at least the fire department next to that property.
Correct. That was on that. 2 items just for David. Would you be able to prepare for our October meeting, an extension for the resolution to extend or continue the solar moratorium as it would, I don't know, it's the end of October, beginning of November, we would need to extend it this way we don't miss the deadline.
October, I have it.
So if you could have that for us.
Mm-hmm.
And also, if you could look into the town setting a, I guess a court fee or a court, I don't want to say fine, but if someone goes through the court and ends up having they're charged with like a speeding ticket or something, this way we can get a set amount of money per transaction or per person through the court to help cover our costs. Currently, we're
So you're thinking of like a surcharge?
correct, or whatever way we need to term it or phrase it to make it pleasable to the state. The court is about $1,000 per month. Per week. So if we can do something to hopefully turn that around, it's been 4 years or more that they've had this downward trend in cost. So hopefully we can do something to turn that around as the board. So if you could draft something, maybe we can come up at our budget workshop with some numbers to put into it. And this way, maybe next year we can
Yeah, I'll take a
change the
look at it.
trend.
To be honest with you, Dave, we're just looking to break even. We don't need to be a moneymaker, we just don't want it to be a.
Understood.
That's all I have.
I just have one thing I want to add, just one, and it's kind of about this fire truck fund. We are not, correct me if I'm wrong about this, David, or anyone else who wants to intervene. We are not a fire district in the aspect of people are not being taxed at a certain rate. Correct?
We're a fire protection district, which means, yes.
Yeah, the fire protection is coming out of your normal town taxes.
Out of your normal town taxes. Okay, so as an example, if someone, let's just use Way Honda as an example. Way Honda just bought a truck for, I believe, they bought a couple trucks. Over $1 million their last truck was. That they're gonna pay for over the next 20 years, 30 years.
Yeah, it's its own district.
Okay.
Yeah, that's an independent district, so basically, the difference is that as a fire protection district, the town contracts out and it collects the amount during the regular town taxes. For an actual fire district, the independent district sets its tax rate, and the town is essentially a pass-through. So the town is responsible for collecting those taxes, but it's not actually imposing those taxes. Think of it as a fire district is the same thing as a school district. They're a taxing authority that's able to do so. The only real difference between the school district and a fire district is the fire district uses the town as the receiver for the taxes, and then you basically turn over the money in a lump sum or two sums, whereas the school district collects it themselves typically.
Now, at one point, we were a fire district here, correct?
That's correct, when I first started here.
The people of Mount Hope literally came out and.
Right, there's a
voted that-
provision in the law that allows a voter-initiated petition to force a referendum as to whether or not to dissolve it. So that's ultimately what happened.
That's my only comment, that's all.
Don? Jim?
I have no comments.
I would just like a motion to do executive session to go over a personnel issue
Make the motion,
Department.
for the highway department.
enter executive session as stated.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
You don't know that. But she should.
Next day, because I can have doing some of the fire contracts now, I'll just give them here for Thursday. Okay. That's right, okay.
So I don't have doing the tickets because I'm not buying it, right? It makes no sense to spend money. I just have it.
Exactly, exactly.
And what did they have? October, the holiday weekend, right?
Because that would be only.
Isn't that a whole other
I
issue?
mean,
Shouldn't you be asking that question?
When we were on the other schedule.
Or maybe someone should be asking that question?
I'm on your side, yes, I agree, somebody should be asking that question about.
I didn't know that, I thought they put it into bid.
Nope, they haven't,
What do you know about it?
She's always got it.
since the amount of fire company is almost something
I
else.
mean, listen, she has they're right there, they're very close,
Yes,
they're,
she
you know,
is.
probably in most cases in the closest room, but that doesn't mean.
I don't wanna.
Depends on where
It's
it's depends on where.
exactly, and it doesn't mean that they're always gonna be the ones that are gonna.
2%.
Every year, you put $15,000 in the account,
No.
be able to buy a truck.
Yeah.
Doesn't work that way.
The town is putting in the.
What?
The town's own is on.
How's it taking
Oh,
years?
it's $11,000 instead of $15,000. I mean, there's a big difference, okay.
Well, you saw it in that.
But yes, it's for.
It's just so it's nice.
Liz and Lee and Mary Ann bought their tickets.
in a Mount Hope fund.
I had one person back to me, said he.
For a service.
I saw that.
Yeah,
The
for a
$20
service that we
something?
contract every year, which is to say in 5 years, we're
the
not
29th.
contracting with someone very.
Of October?
And then it still has our money.
If I'm contracting somebody.
Oh, I'm not good
I
for
have to
that.
pay for the.
I'm good for the park.
Him to buy the shingles way ahead of time?
They'll have raffles and
No.
stuff. But we had talked about it.
Good job.
And
The rest is
the
for
list,
you to figure it
since the list has to have work meeting.
And then you put it in a particular account that is
Oh,
specific.
yeah.
And that if any of the volunteers that were
Then I can
wanted to go, that we would pay for it.
You signed it.
So far, the people who've answered me have said they.
Yeah.
That's one way to put it.
So, but I'm gonna give it another thing.
That's enough mountain review over there.
See if they have.
Kill yourself.
Yeah.
Go, but.
Can't do anything else.
I'm gonna go to the park that day.
Oh, no, I don't mind, I'm like, oh, he's gonna kill himself.
No,
I may, I
yeah,
see
I'm out of here. See you guys.
talk to you
Really
later.
Good night.
different
Yeah.
thing.
Take care.
Thanks for doing that today.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Said
Fingers crossed,
you're
we'll see
unable
what happens,
to
yeah.
donate because they need to know that they get out the photo, if they're.
Right,
raising money for
right,
them.
right.
And balance it.
Move up there.
I was thinking, we wouldn't,
I gotta get some more. I got one.
Laura Ben and Lorraine were the two organizers. So I don't feel
If I
like-
get
Then I start
yours.
getting big Mary Lou.
No, village ordinance says you can't put
Wrong.
30 days before.
Wrong. Bill ordinance says.
30 days before.
Wrong. What it says is, what it says is, you can't put a big laminate sign. That's the difference. I went down myself. She's on the wrong. Give me the sign, put Laura, no problem. Trust me.
then
It says, read what it says. It says laminated with a light.
So that's how she, her.
Then,
Laminated is
ask
with a
Diane
light.
right
The
behind.
illuminated.
no, I'm illuminated, no illuminated, right.
Okay,
That's what it
right,
says.
right,
So I
Tommy.
went down there and I said, these are not illuminated, and they said, you're right, I said, okay, come on.
Yeah.
Several of the art journals.
It says right now,
Yeah.
Bill's law,
Oh,
that's
no,
all.
we're definitely gonna go there.
If they can't put signs up, there's all signs all over the village.
Yeah.
Move that sign. You said 30 days, right?
They were up less than 30 days beforehand.
Somewhere.
It was all in the
But it's not.
very beginning.
You can,
They
you
just-
put them, go on.
They just said.
I went down myself to
they
check.
have something like-
100%.
You can ask the vinegar or something. I said, sure.
It's going.
Now the way
And
they're,
I can't, it was
I
like,
think they're just,
I did
they're
today.
vendors for the park. So I think
tomorrow.
they do bills for this, and I wanna make sure.
Tomorrow, I promise. I forgot all about it. That's the problem.
Yeah. And Julie, for the other dinner, Julie's already got some stuff because she had a big graduation party for Joey. So she froze the kibasi and sauerkraut, she froze the pierogies, so we have that. And then one of the others, Sue, is making potato salad. And we're donating the shrimp, and I'll just put them together. There's really no reason to have a meeting tomorrow.
You want a green salad?
Sure, oh, I think Kathy does that.
Okay.
I'll double check with her,
Find
because
out.
Kathy usually does that, but there's really no reason to have a meeting tomorrow, because we're just gonna go ahead and do that, you know? And I'm not putting it up for a date, I'm not gonna say, let's discuss the menu, because if she, you know, no.
No, we don't wanna do that. Well, Kathy's not making the green salad, but I usually do that for the hometown helper
Okay.
luncheon, so.
No, it's not a chicken, it's just, it's people, you ought to come. No, it's not humorous, it's very irritating.
Swing this for 5 minutes.
Because she said, no, because it's a matter of, oh yes, we should do this, we should do this. Who's we? You got a mouse in your pocket?
Right.
You know,
There's something else going on, oh, the Presbyterian Church dinner is that night.
oh, is it?
Yeah, because Dawn usually comes to ours, but she's going to that.
Yeah.
I saw the tickets in her hand, I was like, what are those tickets do? I had filmed them.
Usually they used to do the play, I used to like it when they did the play and had the dinner.
Yeah.
I used to love that. We used to do that all the time.
I don't have to worry if they're doing that this year.
No, I asked.
They're not.
No, and I was like, I know. That was always a nice night
I
out.
love that, it's just, you laugh so hard. I
I
mean, it's
know.
like a belly laugh night, you know?
I know. It was always a nice night. Well, I wanna wait and see Chad, because tomorrow's his show. He's got sinus, so, yeah. He's having a nose job. No.
Essentially, yeah.
He'll
essentially.
probably be really.
Getting quite rid of it.
Yeah, it's plenty
Yeah.
of stuff that needs to be done.
And those aren't that cheap either.
Don't say this to him, but I had a girlfriend go through all that, she was nobody wanted.
My sister went through it. She
My
was
mother-in-law
better
did.
off. My sister was better off, but my sister told me that if she had to do it again, if they told her that you have to do this again, or you have 6 months to live, she'd write the will, and that's it.
Wow.
Yeah. But they made a mistake with my sister too. So it was a little bit more involved, but.
So, I remember doing that, because, I had had one 5 years before. Where'd she go? And we talked a lot about it. And I went to see her in the hospital right after. And she's laying there, and she goes, "You didn't tell me it would hurt this much." And I said, I wrote all up with tears. I said, because if I told you, you wouldn't have gone through it.
Well, you know, my girlfriend had one years and years ago, and I can remember going to the hospital, and I mean, Shelley was like, Deb, you make me laugh, I'm gonna kill you, you know, all right? So then I had to have one, and I'm like, oh good God, and I'm thinking, oh good God, because I had had Jen by cesarean too, and my other girlfriend said it's gonna be just like the cesarean, and I was like, oh, that wasn't very pleasant. But I had it done with the robot, and I woke up and I said, Mike, did they do it? Did they do it?
No kidding.
No pain at all, Diane, no
Wow.
pain. I had no pain medication and no pain.
Some the next day.
That's amazing.
I was home, I would've went home that night if they would've let me, but, next morning I was, let's go, get me out of here.
I needed his help to put my pants on, that was all.
Oh my God, I had 5 little holes. She couldn't bend over to,
Yeah.
after the show, her shoes on.
Well, that was what I had for the section.
Right.
And, I'm thinking, oh, good God, here we go again. And no, there was no pain,
It was worth doing the trip to
That's
Albany.
amazing.
none.
Albany did it with the.
Well, with mine, they weren't quite sure about the stuff, they knew I had fibroids, but,
Mm-hmm.
but, you know, what he said it would probably be, you know, about a half an hour surgery, it turned out to be almost 3.
Yeah, mine was long, but because she did it the way she did it.
Yeah.
Cause they had me pretty well doped, you know, I get dopey in the beginning, and she's going, I'm gonna do it the easiest way for you. No, you put 5 little holes, and I'm going home more, and I kept saying this, right? So, surgery took an extra hour and a half, cause she was starting to get skitsy. And, she came out, and all she said to Mike was, I did it the way she wanted, 5 little holes, and she can go home tomorrow.
One thing I remember about coming out of the anesthesia, I was not awake yet.
Yeah.
But I very clearly remember my mother and my sister being there. And my sister going, oh my God, wow, she's bleeding.
Oh, good God.
And my mother said, it's okay, that's from the anesthesia. She'll get,
Oh my
she'll
God,
get better.
no, I woke up in my room, I wasn't even in the other room, I was in my room already in bed. And I woke up and he's sitting there next to her, going, did they do it?
Wow. That's terrific.
4 and change.
For over 4 hours, yeah. The only thing that hurt was my back, and I couldn't understand why my back hurt. So when the doctor came in the next day, I was like, why is my back hurt? I mean, I'm just taking like a Tylenol and I'm fine. He goes, well, thank you for the position we had you in. And I said, enough said, let's not get into that, you know?
Yep.
Oh, I had my legs over my head and everything else, so, you know, I'm like, we don't wanna talk about that, you know?
Wow.
But otherwise, Diane, I tell you, I would tell anybody if they had to do it, go to Albany and have it done by that robot, because
That's amazing.
it was amazing. Yeah,
Good.
and I went back to work in a week. I would've gone sooner.
She wasn't supposed to drive, but she did.
Why isn't this surprising?
I was fine, you know, I mean, that was fine.
Sit down for Chinese food the next day.
Yeah. The only thing bad about that hospital is, I'm telling you, the food was inedible.
Really?
Now, I can be fussy, but even he was like, come on, just eat this. I'm like,
Wow.
And so he took a mouthful and he was like, you don't have to eat this.
It must have been bad.
Yes, I did too.
The next day, the doctor said, well, you can't go home until you eat.
Easy.
So I'm like, what are you doing? Because I already eaten that stuff. And I go home and
Yeah.
Got the not. Sunday and I got half of it down. And I said, I don't know.
Wow.
I ate it.
I wouldn't have had to care.
He said,
Yes, it is. A motion to exit executive session.
Make the motion to exit executive session?
Second?
Second motion?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Does anyone have anything else?
No.
Awesome. How about a motion to adjourn?
I'll make the motion to adjourn.
Second?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Have a good night.
We haven't signed those.
Go for second.
What?
Go for second.